400 rabbits, deities that dominate those who drink pulque. In ancient Mexico, there existed alcohol spirits known as Senson Totochtin, or in English, the 400 rabbits. These spirits were children of the maguey god, Maya Uel. Each one had its own personality, and the specific god that would dominate the person drinking depended on that person's disposition. Maguey was a highly venerated plant in pre-Columbian Mexico owing to the sap that is contained within its center. This nutrient-rich sap is fermented to produce the alcoholic beverage known as pulque. The mythology surrounding the plant relates how the goddess Maya Uel is credited with having discovered the way to scrape the maguey and draw out the sacred liquid. The legend of Maya Uel, creator deity of maguey. Maya Uel gave birth to the 400 rabbits, whom she fed with her 400 breasts. Symbols of fertility, her children each represent a certain level of fermentation and a different state of inebriation. Thus, the melancholic rabbit, the sad rabbit, or the singing rabbit can appear to the drinker, among an infinite number of states that the Octli can induce. Octli was the Nahuatl name given to the beverage in pre-Columbian times. However, the Spanish introduced the term pulque, taken from a Caribbean word for rotten, alluding to the fermentation process. The Aztec knew that in order to obtain the sacred drink, the life of the maguey must be sacrificed. For this reason, the sap of the maguey was related to other sacred liquids like blood, semen, mother's milk, and water. The rabbits, pulque, and the phases of the moon. The Aztec characterized the tiny rabbit as disinhibited and sexually prolific, characteristics that those inebriated by pulque acquire. They saw the figure of the rabbit expressed in the moon and its cycles. It was understood that this heavenly body had a powerful influence upon the earth's water, the vital liquid contained in all life on the planet. Based upon this belief, the moon phases were charted to keep track of exactly when the best time was to extract the sap. To this date, this knowledge continues to be taken into account by those who cultivate maguey and produce pulque. In Mesoamerica, the moon is represented as a giant pot full of pulque, which, as the days go by, spills its liquid over the earth, fertilizing and sometimes dropping a rabbit or a flint knife. In this way, the god Metzli, moon in Nahuatl, became the overseer of the alcohol spirits. The priests that portrayed these sacred rabbits during ceremonies were adorned with the quintessential moon symbol, Yacametzli, or Nariguera lunar, a piece of gold jewelry that was worn through the nostrils. Tepoztecatl, Coatlapanqui, Tilua, and Papastexocaca are the names of several of these rabbit gods. They are considered the creators of the art of making pulque because of a series of events that occurred, according to pre-Columbian history, on the mountain known as Chichinahuilla Poposnaltepetl, located around the Huasteca region of Mexico. One other well-known rabbit god was Pantecatl, who was closely related to Maya Uel, possibly even her husband. He is credited with having discovered a certain root which was fermented with the sap of the maguey. Ometuchli was another remarkable rabbit god. The priest that presided over his ceremonies shared the same name as the god. More rabbit gods that appeared in the Aztec codices and other written sources were Texcatzoncatl, Tlacolteotl, Yatecatl, Ixquitecatl, and Patecatl. The many forms in which drunkenness manifested were attributed to the many gods of pulque that, following this belief, would possess the drinker. When people get drunk, there's always one that cries, one that quarrels, and one that yells. To the one that yells or cries, it is said, "That's just like your rabbit." From the writing of Bernardino de Sahagún. The celebration of the pulque gods. Every 260 days, a ceremony is held to honor the gods of pulque. The name of the 8th day of the ritual cycle of the Aztec calendar was Rabbit, whose patron was Ma'auel, goddess of the maguey or century plant. The Aztec calendar was based on the rotation of the numbers 1 through 13 and consisted of 20 signs for the days. Each sign had its own particular deity that exerted a decisive influence upon those born on his day throughout their entire lives. For this reason, it was thought that those who were born on the 8th day, Tochli, or Rabbit, would be alcoholics for their whole lives. It was their destiny. The day of Ometochli marked the most important Pulque celebration. On this day, everyone could drink, including the common citizens. In pre-Columbian times, getting drunk was normally prohibited. It was illegal to drink more than 5 cups worth of pulque. On this day, insulting the drunks was prohibited since it may affect the deity that controlled them. Therefore, the transgressions of the inebriated on this day only were usually pardoned, since the guilty were not considered to be in full control of their actions. During other celebrations, only priests and rulers were allowed to drink the sacred otli. Warriors were also permitted to drink before entering battle, especially during the Flower War, where it was considered an honor to die. Likewise, captives destined to be sacrificed were given a special pulque to drink made with a specific combination of herbs known only to the priests. This pulque, known as teoctli, or pulque of the gods, transformed the sacrificed person into a deity. During the celebration of the pulque god, his image was hung in the temple, offerings of food were set out for him, flute music was played, and the people danced for him. Also, in the center of the courtyard was placed a large earthenware jar, the Ometochtecomactl, full of pulque that warriors and the elderly could drink from until content, using straws to suck up the liquid. This privilege was offered because they were more likely to die than the rest of the population. The Senson Totochtin, the 400 rabbits, were also invoked during other festivals, specifically those of sowing and harvesting. The sacred liquor was offered to the gods, and to the entire village, which was permitted to drink. On common days, there were social consequences for those who drank, some extreme, even to the point of punishment by stoning. Another pulque origin story dates back to the mythic Tolan, the ancient capital of the Toltec. The legend tells that Quetzalcoatl was tricked by his brother Tezcatlipoca to inebriate himself on pulque and lose himself in carnal pleasures. This led to such great shame on the part of Quetzalcoatl that he was forced to leave the land that he governed with so much wisdom and success.